Hey, just a warning. While Fuller House is a family show, the Fullest House podcast is not. Listener discretion is advised. Hello and welcome to the Fullest House podcast, where we've been trapped in this room for over 50 hours and counting. I'm Mark Greene.
I'm Harrison Bloom.
And I'm Zach Horowitz.
This is quite an episode.
Yeah.
Every episode is quite an episode, but this is quite an episode.
This is quite an episode. Quite a 20-minute experience.
I do want to start out by reading part of the episode description from Netflix.
Go ahead.
The episode says, Steph and Kimmy host a Lamaz class at the house, ... with hilarious results.
Yeah, I think people who are... things that are actually hilarious, you don't need to be told that it's hilarious.
When you're putting that in the description, it's sort of a sign. There are a lot of things I really like in this episode.
Yeah, it wasn't as bad as we expected based on that description.
Yeah.
No.
Specifically, there are some characters that carry their entire side plot.
Yeah. Guys, hijinks ensue.
Mainly that one that they thought was going to be hilarious.
Yes.
Yep. But, guys, we open up at Harmon Fuller Pet Care, where one Dr. Matt Harmon, or should we say Dr. Stud Harmon, you get it? Because he's an attractive dude.
Yep.
He's on the phone and he's flirting with someone.
Oh boy.
He's flirting with a little bunny. His little bunny.
He says his little bunny, and DJ is like, you mean a real little bunny, or does someone have a girlfriend?
Ooh, I don't think they actually played that sound there.
No, but we're doing it. And guys, he does have a girlfriend, ooh.
Who calls him
Ooh.
Big Thumper, which I don't even want to begin to know what that means.
I think it's, she's a little bunny.
Yeah.
And he's Big Thumper, which is a reference to the bunny in Bambi.
Yeah.
Of course, the hottest character in the Disney canon.
But also, what is he thumping?
Like sex.
Her. I think
like
he's
sex.
thumping her, Harrison.
It's like sex, Harrison.
Yeah, I think it's like sex. I think that's what it is.
I know. I was trying to be mysterious about it.
You're trying to save some of the allure and the
The
romance.
allure, yeah.
I commend you, Harrison.
Yeah, I commend your effort. However, not this time.
I think Matt is doing a sex with his girlfriend.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wait, are you saying that characters are having sex in my family-friendly Fuller House sitcom?
I think they are.
Well, not on screen.
Oh, okay. At least it's not on screen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyways, DJ tells Matt that she's got 2 more tickets to an escape room and that he should bring his little bunny and come, and it'll be like a great little double date. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be great. And Steve's gonna be there, and Steve misses Matt. He sends him a foot-shaped box of chocolates.
Yeah.
Matt says he sent me a foot-shaped box of chocolates, which he usually only does on Valentine's Day.
I love the fact that it's a yearly occurrence that Steve sends Matt chocolates.
Well, my favorite thing about it is that DJ then says,
She gets
we got the same gift. Which means that Steve got Matt the same gift he got his girlfriend.
This really just shows that Meave is the perfect chip.
Meave is the perfect chip.
Yes.
Steve is definitely just as in love with Matt as he is with DJ.
Oh, for sure. And we will see later on in the episode because we get the wonder of the Steve and Matt bromance. It's so good.
Yes.
It's back.
They're
baby.
back.
The boys are back.
The boys are back in town.
Is that a musical bits? Was that a very tacit musical bits?
I mean, sure. That's not at all
For
how the song
unknown
goes.
song.
I know it's not quite how the song goes. It's just the way you extended it at the very end. I'm like, is he trying to sing it? Or is he just
No.
saying it?
I'm going to leave that one up to interpretation.
All right.
Well, you left it. I was interpreting it, and now you're saying, no, Mark, you're stupid and wrong.
Yeah, you leave it up to interpretation as long as your interpretation is correct.
Well, now that I feel terrible, I think we should move on to the next scene.
Sure.
I agree.
Where Jimmy and Steph are getting ready to host their Lamaze class, like we said in the episode description.
Right.
Whoa, no way. That actually happens in the episode? I had
Yes.
no idea. Is it hilarious? Does hilarity ensue?
Well, Jimmy does say that it is going to be lamazing.
Oof.
And it does catch on. Jimmy carries this subplot on his back.
Yep. Jimmy and later Steph. Steph has some good moments. We like Jimmy and Steph, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. Adam Hagenbuch's back must be hurting from carrying the entire show.
That's why Jimmy Gibbler had to be so ripped,
Hell yeah.
so he could carry the show on his back.
I'll never get over the fucking sexy Jimmy Gibbler car wash.
Of course. It's it's a little known fact. One of Hercules' 9 labors was to hold Fuller House for a time.
Yes.
But he tricked Jimmy Gibbler into taking it back because Jimmy is a little dim, I must say.
A little bit.
I don't know if you've noticed it.
He's kind of a dummy, but we love a dummy.
What he doesn't have in brains, he makes up for in heart.
Yes.
He's gotten far enough in life based on that. So,
Yeah, he invented, as he tells us right here, he invented the phrase cray cray.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How
did that.
did he do that? That's my question.
Well, I think he just started using it and it caught on much in the same way as he assures us lamazing is going to catch on.
Of course.
I really hope that someone, if there is a Wikipedia page for cray cray, someone just like edits it to say the word was popularized by Jimmy Gibbler.
Oh no.
It's like a Dan Avedon Qumran Cave scenario.
But I forget the context for this, but we do also find out that Jimmy keeps his entire life savings in a sock.
Yes, that is also a thing.
Yes.
He has a sock full of coins, and he's really popular at the local wishing well. The kids love him.
Which that must mean his life savings are like $5?
Yeah.
We'd have to measure it and take into account the various different coins you can have.
Yes.
To be fair, this is a character who at his introduction in the series was living in his van.
Yes.
Right.
I'm sure. Okay, Harrison, I think you're completely right in that it's not all uniform, the kinds of coins. I'm also wondering if there's like a good deal of foreign currency in there.
Yeah, this was a bunch of like euro coins and Canadian dollars.
He definitely has some yen in his sock.
Yeah. Some yen.
Yeah.
He has some foreign wishing wells he frequents.
Yes.
Oh yeah. And like you got to be courteous and use like only the local currency in the wishing wells.
Yeah, or else the evil spirits will get you.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's how wishing wells work.
Yeah.
That's what my dad said. What did you I had a scary childhood.
Oh,
That
boy.
was a joke. Anyway, where were we? Guys, Ramona is organizing a rally.
Heck yeah.
Right, yeah, Ramona's gonna be an activist. And J Money's coming too.
Yeah. She's like, I'm organizing a rally and trying to give back to the community. And J Money is like, and also me.
Yeah.
And also I am going. And Max also has a foolproof plan because J Money wants to show off his cool new football jersey. So we had Tommy roll around in the dirt to make it look like he actually played football.
Ramona asks him, why are you coming? J Money says like, oh, I just care about the community. And we all went, oh, is Rocky going to be there? And then Max comes in saying, oh, you told me that you wanted to wear your jersey in front of people.
Yeah.
I'm surprised. We expected one thing and they gave us another.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you're right. Max and Tommy dirty up his jersey. So it looks like he actually played.
Fantastic. That's gonna look very bad when he when he has to take pictures with the team.
Mm-hmm.
They There's a joke where they say, and we're almost done with your pants. And then Cosmo comes in wearing his pants. But they cut a hole out for his tail.
Yeah, I noticed that too. They cut a hole for the tail. And, like, he's gonna have to wear that.
He better make sure to put on some boxers over that jock strap.
Or maybe J-Money should grow a tail.
Ooh. Yeah, that's an option. I'd love to have a tail, personally. That would be so cool.
Having a tail, I feel like, would be pretty cool.
Yeah.
What do you think some of the major benefits of having a tail are? Because I've never really thought about it, but I'm willing to be convinced.
Well, I only want one if it's one of those like cool prehensile tails. So we basically have a third arm.
Yeah, be able to like grab stuff with your tail.
A third arm on your butt.
Yes.
Yeah.
A very long third arm. It's perfect.
I could get like a pull-up bar or something, or like anything that I could hang from in the ceiling and hold onto it with my tail, and I'll look like I'm flying, and it'll be great.
It's like usually I eat one sandwich and then sometimes I'm eating 2 sandwiches. But if I had a tail, I could eat 3 sandwiches.
See, Mark gets it.
Yes.
Mark understands. Sometimes you just really need to eat 3 sandwiches at the same time.
Guys, don't you hate it when you're like looking all over the house for your sunglasses and turns out you were holding them with your tail the entire time?
Don't you just hate when you're trying to eat 3 sandwiches and you only have 2 arms?
Don't you just hate when you're trying to eat 2 sandwiches and also dribble a basketball? And so you need a tail to dribble the basketball? That's a callback to a previous episode of Fuller House.
Hey.
Yes.
Oh, I forgot about that, but that is such a good. Oh my god. We love our sad boy.
We love our sad boy. We should also say the thing Ramona is campaigning for is they're holding a rally to try to get a student onto the school board, which is a noble cause.
To which my immediate response was, I really hope that, 1, they succeed, and 2, the student representative is J-Money.
Get J-Money into politics.
Yes.
We need more unremarkable white men in politics.
Yes.
And that's why I'm running for president. Under my leadership, the leadership of another mediocre white man, such as myself, we will bring America into a new golden age.
Vote Zach 2024.
I will therefore be having Mark as my vice president and Harrison as my secretary of state because, it just wouldn't feel right,
I appreciate
I'll
it.
handle the corruption, guys. I will make sure to embezzle all the funds and invest heavily in private military contracts.
And I will not have many responsibilities as outlined in the Constitution.
Give me your vote, and I promise you, we will lead America into a very mediocre age. Thank you for your time.
Vote for us and we can all be sad boys.
Please clap.
We can all be good time boys under the leadership of Zach Horowitz.
Yeah.
Horowitz 2024.
Yay!
Yay.
I'm Zach Horowitz, and I approve this message.
I just imagined you debating Ramona Gibbler and everyone just like ignoring what she's saying and clapping for you because white man is speaking.
Of course.
Like, she just starts speaking, I pull out like a sandwich and start eating a sandwich at the debate.
She starts speaking, you just pull out like 3 sandwiches, you start eating one of them with your prehensile tail.
Yes.
Ooh, wait, hold on. Tyler also came up with a very good campaign slogan.
Ooh, I like
2024 Horowitz.
Yes.
Yep, that's the one. And
That's
on that
the one.
note, we're going to
That's-
cut
that's
over
the
to the
one.
next scene.
That is beautiful.
We're going to cut over to the next scene. We are
Okay.
at the escape room, and it is British murder mystery themed.
Yay.
And guys, DJ does some accents.
Oh, those are terrible.
Yeah,
Oh, I forgot
that's
about
not.
those. Oh, Jesus.
They're bad.
Well, I guess it's time to play everybody's favorite game show. Say it with me, guys. Is that racist? Where the answer is always yes.
I don't think it's super racist in this instant. And of course, the joke is that she's doing the accents badly. I'm just not a fan of character does accent poorly as a joke.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, I
not
just really
great.
wanted to do the bit again.
It's very
True.
cringy.
True.
It's a very
Fair.
fun bit to do.
Very fair. I will say the one time I think it's worked is when Mac does a bad Swedish accent and It's Always Sunny and then immediately goes, that was a good accent. That's good. But yes, they're going to solve a murder, maybe, or escape a room.
Probably.
And it's British.
Yes.
Yes.
And the guy running the escape room, he's great. The guy running the escape room is pretty great.
Lord Nigel Pennywhistle. He has a wonderful dramatic energy.
Oh, he's great, yeah.
And he comes in and he's very excited for their escape room. And he interrupts Matt as he's about to tell DJ something important. We forgot to mention he keeps trying to tell DJ something important about Little Bunny, but she keeps pushing him away or whatever.
She's like, yeah, I don't need to know. All I know is that she calls you Little Bunny, and now I know too much.
She basically has that line at the beginning. He's like, DJ, there's one more thing I should tell you. And she's like, hey, I already know everything I need to know. Goodbye. And she leaves.
Oof.
And then as Lord Nigel Pennywhistle closes the doors, DJ starts to run after him, saying, oh, Max's girlfriend isn't here yet. And she opens the door, and who should be there but Gia?
Gia magically appears. It's magic. It's magic.
And here's my favorite thing. DJ immediately goes, Gia, what are you doing here? We're all waiting for Max's girlfriend to show up. And then Gia starts making out with Matt. I said Max's girlfriend. I meant Matt's girlfriend. I'm messing up a lot. Gia is not dating DJ's 10-year-old son.
Oh, thank God.
I just want to make that clear.
Because that was a very different episode of Fuller House.
Yeah. On this very special episode of Fuller House.
Starring Chris Hansen.
Oh my God.
Oof.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Really, Deej? You can't put 2 and 2 together until you see them literally making out?
Because the idea of Gia being attractive to another human being is that disgusting to her, I think is the implication.
But and Matt says, oh, I tried to tell you, DJ. And DJ's like, well, you could have tried harder. And we're like, no, DJ, you left.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is completely on you, DJ. You didn't... He was gonna tell you, and then you refused to let him tell you. That's on you.
There's no blaming Matt here. What did you expect him to do? Text you or some shit? No.
Yeah. Yeah, what do you expect him to do? Pick up a cell phone like what we all have on our persons the entire time and say, hey, DJ, fair warning, the person I'm dating is Gia, who you know and don't like.
Okay, bad example. Anyway.
Yeah, maybe DJ has a point.
Yeah.
Which is a sentence we never say.
That's true. We're very mean to DJ on this show.
We're very mean to DJ and Kimmy, and they probably don't deserve it. It's just that I think they are the weakest characters.
Yeah.
We kind of do genuinely love everyone else.
Yeah.
And then it's not even like, and it's not a performance thing. I think the actresses are doing a great job. I just think the jokes aren't quite as strong as some of the other characters.
I agree. Yeah. That's the issue.
Yeah, and also that they're given so much focus. If they were minor characters and the focus was elsewhere, I think we wouldn't be as annoyed by them, because the other characters are great. I mean, Steve in this subplot is kind of perfect.
Oh, he's lovely. Oh, he's great.
Oh yeah, Steve is great. Oh God, there's a very good line where like DJ just gets really annoyed with Matt and Gia doing really well at solving puzzles. And she's like, all right, well, I guess we're just going to split up and find out, like, you know, she wants to get away from the two. And then Steve's immediately like, all right, cool, I'll go with Matt.
Yep.
And Steve is just wonderful. Steve is the best part of this subplot.
Yes, he is. His number one choice is Matt.
Matt.
That's his partner.
I love the I love that it was immediate, like, okay, cool, I'm gonna go with Matt. And then DJ's like, no, you're coming with me instead.
Split up, you know what that means. My guy Matt. But we should also mention that we cut back to the Lamaz class, and they do the whole, Fernando's not the father of my baby, though we are married. The father is my brother.
It's just like they keep trying to explain what a surrogate is without actually saying the word surrogate. And this is something that happens a lot, and it's really annoying. It's like, just say you're a surrogate.
Yeah. Say you're a surrogate. You've made this joke before. Friends made this joke about 10 to 20 years before you did.
It's like 15 wasted seconds.
It's almost as if they don't know the word surrogate.
Maybe they don't. Maybe they've just been confused this entire time because people keep saying surrogate.
Ooh, guys,
Ooh.
Is this like a really boring episode of The Twilight Zone where everything is the same except the word surrogate doesn't exist in the English language? And there's one person who still remembers the word surrogate and they're just like going crazy.
That'd be wonderful.
Oh my god.
Yes. It's an alternate dimension.
It's an alternate dimension nestled somewhere in the Twilight Zone.
Musical bits.
Now there's a musical bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did it, guys. We did a
did it.
musical bit.
Yep, that's my pitch for a really boring episode of The Twilight Zone.
I love your other pitch, which is just a restaurant, but all the chairs are moved around.
Ooh.
What?
Why are all the chairs moved around every time I leave the room? Anyway.
But with the intensity of William Shatner seeing a man on the wing of a
Yes.
plane.
Yes.
All the chairs are moved around. What's going on? I can't trust my reality. But also, guys, Kimmy doesn't want this journey to be over once she gives birth. She doesn't want to be done with this baby, which is not her baby.
Yeah.
That's such a strange one-episode character arc to fixate
Yep.
on.
It's very strange, and like I kind of get it, but also like Kimmy, you're not forgetting why you're doing this, right?
Yeah. Also, you live in this house.
Mhm.
Like, what do you mean people are gonna forget you once the baby is born?
That you're not going to be a
Yeah.
part of their lives. You all live in one house like a bunch of weirdos.
Your fiance lives next door, and yet you still live in this house.
Your fiance lives next door, but functionally also lives in this house.
Yes.
And even not functionally, remember the Gibbler house is the same set, but mirrored.
That's beautiful. I always forget. That's beautiful.
Oh god, yeah, that it's mirrored and and it's haunted, and also the Gilmore house is haunted.
It's also haunted, so he has... Did we ever pitch a spinoff that's just Fernando and a bunch of ghost friends?
I don't think we ever
Ooh.
did, but that...
Fernando, Jimmy, and a
Yes,
bunch of
that's
ghost friends?
Definitely what they should
Yes. Yes.
That should be a spinoff.
Fernando, Jimmy, and a bunch of ghost friends. But yeah, back at the escape room, DJ wants to split up. Steve wants to go with Matt. DJ goes, Steve. And he's like, right. Of course.
Oh, yes.
I want to be with DJ
do. Yeah.
and not the true love of my life, Dr. Matt Harmon, aka Dr. Stud Harmon.
Thruple.
Thruple.
Or is it
Thruple.
quadruple now?
Ooh, I think they'd make a very happy but interesting quadruple.
Quadruple.
Quadruple. That is maybe my other pitch for a spinoff. Just a family sitcom about a quadruple.
Yes. But specifically DJ, Matt, Steve, and Gia.
Yep. We also, very important, we find out that DJ is a fan of National Treasure 2, The Book of Secrets.
Yes. She says it's the Godfather 2 of the National Treasure series, and
Yes.
that it is the second one.
It is this, yeah, to be fair to her, it's the second one.
Yeah, but what does that equate to in value? How does she feel about the first National Treasure? I mean, I guess it's the Godfather of National Treasures.
That it is one of the best films in cinema history, but arguably National Treasure 2, The Book of Secrets.
Guys. National Treasure 2 is the Kung Fu Panda 2 of the National Treasure series.
You're
I was
absolutely
thinking, I was like, what's the
right.
stupidest?
Yeah.
I was like, what's the stupidest movie I can think of?
You're
that has a
literally
sequel?
correct. National
Yeah.
Treasure 2, The Book of Secrets is to National Treasure as Cars 2 is to Cars.
Yes.
That too. Yeah, that also works.
Cars 2 Electric Boogaloo.
National Treasure 2, The Book of Secrets, Electric Boogaloo.
Wait, National Treasure 2, the Book of Secrets is the Alvin and the Chipmunks, the squeakquel of the National Treasure series.
And with that, I am declaring that we have to move on. But yes, DJ mentions this because Steve is like, how are you so good at solving puzzles? And DJ is like, you know how much I'm into the National Treasure franchise.
And also, Gia's very good at escape rooms because she's escaped many rooms in her lifetime, thanks to her relationship with very timely pop culture reference, her brief relationship with Charlie Sheen.
Yes. A very timely reference as of right now and also when the show was made.
Yeah, that's all. Yeah, that is true. This episode came out like maybe, 2-3 years ago?
Yeah.
Charlie Sheen wasn't relevant then.
No.
Well, see, I
No.
feel like
No.
there's always some bad news about Charlie Sheen that comes out every 2 or 3 years.
Sure. But I'm willing to say that this wasn't the hilarious reference it would have been in like 2005.
No, definitely not.
Yeah.
Yeah, so DJ and Steve are getting absolutely bodied in the treasure hunt.
Yes, I want to mention a line that I think is very important where DJ's just like, God, Gia just gets me. She's like a pebble in my shoe. And Steve says that she shouldn't diminish the severity of pebbles in shoes. He once saw a man die from a pebble in his shoe.
Wow.
Maybe not that primarily. He was also hit by a car, but
It was a very good line.
it was a very good line. Steve is the best between
Steve is wonderful.
between I'm teaming up with Matt and I saw a man die from a pebble, but also being hit by a car. But also on a related note.
How did he know the pebble was in the shoe? Did the car crash into the podiatry office?
Well, I think it's like one of those things where it's like he gets hit by a car and everyone's like, oh no, he's been hit by a car. Is anyone here a doctor? And Steve's like, I'm a doctor. And he just starts going for the feet. And he's like, aha, here's the cause. There's a pebble in his shoe.
Yes.
That's why the car hit him, because cars are attracted to people with pebbles in their shoes.
I think I prefer that to, you know, Steve comes across an unconscious body and just immediately goes for the feet.
To steal their
At
shoes.
least I wanted to give him like a heroic arc.
It is that you did a very good job.
Thank you.
He's only gotten into podiatry to steal people's shoes when they're unconscious or dead.
They'd never expect it.
But DJ and Steve continue to look for clues. DJ destroys an innocent owl.
How dare she?
Not the owl.
I know that owl did nothing wrong. It was a stuffed owl. She didn't just kill an owl.
Yeah.
You should say.
I feel like that would go against her Hippocratic oath to take care of animals.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it is not a real owl.
But if it was, she would have fully murdered it by tearing its head off.
Yeah, and then digging out its insides.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. And Steve is like, "Oh, there's a sign," and she's like, "Oh, great, read it." And it says, "Don't touch the owl."
Yep. Right after she dug out its insides. But speaking of things that are inside other things, they're learning to swaddle the babies.
Yay!
Whoa, look at that transition from you, Mark. I've taught you well.
Thank you. Fernando gives us the definition of swaddle, which is how a confident duck walks.
Yeah, he uses it in a sentence with Scrooge McDuck.
Yep.
Who is a very confident duck. I will give him that.
He swaddled right out of the money bin. Gotta love Fernando. Just wanted to give him some credit there.
Combining swagger and waddle. Beautiful.
Yeah, and then the Lamaze instructor's like, no, swaddling is when you, like, wrap up a baby.
Yeah.
And Jimmy's like, oh, you mean like this? And he holds up a perfectly wrapped baby. It's not exactly like that, but I feel like that would have been funnier.
Yeah.
It's pretty much like that.
It kind of is. It's not exactly like that,
Yeah,
but it's basically like that.
Yep.
And it's revealed that Jimmy is really good at wrapping up babies because before he was Jimmy Gibbler, international photographer extraordinaire, he worked at Chipotle.
Yeah, before he was Jimmy Gibbler, international photographer and possibly super spy, he was Jimmy Gibbler, Chipotle worker and possibly super spy.
I love the fact that he's like, by day, I work at Chipotle. By night, I'm a super spy.
Yes.
I'd like to think that outside of the super spying, he considered Chipotle his career, and then right after that became the international photographer extraordinaire, meaning
Yep.
that was a big change in his life.
You know, they come at these kind of changes. They come at you really quickly.
Yeah, you never know where you're gonna end up.
My next note is that brings us to the next scene. Guys, J Money did not stay the whole rally.
No,
What?
he came
Really?
back
J Money?
to watch reruns of, I forget the name of the show.
It's called Yes Dear.
Yes, dear. Yes.
Which it was a pop cultural reference so obscure we didn't even know about it.
Oh, I knew about it.
Oh, you did? Oh.
Just because I've never seen it, but there's this weird phenomenon of there are a lot of shows that run like 80 something to 100 episodes that I feel like nobody's ever heard of.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair.
There are a lot of shows, paraphrasing a phrase from Blank Check, movies that don't exist. There are a lot of shows that feel like TV shows that don't exist, shows that run for a really long time but don't kind of make a big impact on the culture at large. And I just find it fascinating that a show can just like have that, like Julia Louis-Dreyfus can be on a show for like 80 episodes and nobody really remembers.
Right.
Yeah, like Seinfeld.
I've seen some episodes of The New Adventures of Old Christine. This is not at all a statement of quality about any of these shows. It's just I find it fascinating that there are a lot of these shows that just kind of run for a very long time but never become huge.
And that was our experience with Yes Dear.
Yep.
Yeah.
Which I guess J Money is the biggest fan of.
Yes.
Yes, J Money is a huge fan of Yes, dear.
When did Yes Dear go off the air?
I will Google that right now.
Yes Dear ran from 2000 to 2006.
Oh my god.
So if J Money is like 17 in when did this episode come out? Or maybe he's not 17 if he's like 16, 15.
He's probably
a freshman.
Yeah, he's a freshman in high school. Hold on. 2018. December 2018 is when the episode came out.
Yeah, okay. So like he was a fan of Yes Dear from a very young age, I
He was
presume.
born during the run of Yes, dear.
Yes Dear ran for 122 episodes.
Oh my god.
Oh wow.
Wow.
Exactly. That's my whole point.
What should J Money call his Yes Dear podcast? Where he talks about Yes Dear with all of his Yes Dear fan friends.
Yes, dear.
Yes or dear?
Yes or
Yes
dear.
or dear.
I'm down with
Yesest dear. Fuck, do we have to do yesest dear after we finish Fuller House?
that. God,
Oh
no.
God.
Dear
Oh,
God,
man.
no.
You haven't even seen Yes Dear. You don't know if it's bad.
That's true. But just saying, I do not want to be in a podcast called Yesest Dear.
And be trapped into that for 125 episodes.
That's fair. Anyway, Ramona and Max come home after the rally,
Yeah.
and they just so happened to catch the news showed up and they interviewed one of the key organizers.
Whoa.
And guys, guess who the news interviewed?
Ramona, like they should have?
No.
Wait, hold on. Chad Bradley.
Was not Chad Brad Bradley.
Damn it.
It was not Full House's Joey Gladstone.
No,
Was it Full House's John Stamos?
It wasn't John Stamos. Guys,
Shit.
it was J Money.
Oh, whoa. He wasn't the key organizer. What are you talking about?
J Money is famous now, and he doesn't deserve it.
He's famous now and he doesn't deserve it. He takes the credit away from Ramona. He's declared a brave new voice for his generation. Ramona is rightfully angry and leaves. And J Money's like, what's she so angry about? I'm just awesome. Which he's not.
Again, this is why, as president in 2024, I promise to bring us into a mediocre age, as only a mediocre white man such as myself can
And
do.
I commend you.
And I trust that my cabinet of Harrison and Mark and any other mediocre white man I can find on the street will serve you all in a very mediocre way.
I appreciate the
Thank
bit.
you.
I don't know if you saw Tyler's text, but we have to pick up the pace.
Oh no.
Oh,
Yeah, we're running out of time. Jesus.
Yeah,
Never mind. All right, let's go.
When I said I commend you, I was like, we gotta move on.
2024 Horowitz.
Anyway, guys, Steve can't reach the next clue. Matt fully picks up Gia to reach it because they're just so awesome and fit and hot.
And Steve's like, whoa, they could be ice dancers. And I
Yes.
thought that's a very specific thing you could say about these people, but
Yep.
sure.
It's an oddly specific but very good compliment.
Yes.
Steve also like turns to DJ and says, Gia's really good at this. Steve is like all in on Gia.
Oh, Steve is wonderful. I
Steve
love
is
Steve's
wonderful.
energy in this escape room.
Yeah, but DJ is hurt and they start to argue over who's a real doctor because Steve says like, we're both doctors, we can solve this, and DJ goes, eh. And it's like, why does this show keep doing a thing where it doesn't think a podiatrist is a real doctor? He's a doctor.
Yeah, she does like a whole thing where it's like, well, you only operate on feet, and we were all like, DJ, you don't operate on humans.
Which also doesn't mean she's not a doctor, but yeah, DJ,
Like, I'm not saying that either one is not a doctor. I'm just saying if you're gonna call a podiatrist not a doctor, you don't have room to talk as a vet.
It's like they wanted him to be a chiropractor, something that is very clearly not a doctor, but it has the title of a doctor.
I'm a doctor of mathematics.
Yep. Maybe they just hate Steve.
Steve just like has a doctorate in something.
They hate feet. This is the anti-Dan Schneider movement of eliminating feet from sitcoms.
They hate feet. They're kink shaming. Anyway, back to Lamaze. The instructor tells them to visualize the birth of their child.
Yes.
So Kimmy starts reenacting the graphic, horrific birth of Ramona, splayed across the backseat of a car, screaming, cursing out Fernando for doing this to her.
You did this to me.
The instructor says, you can visualize silently. And Kimmy's like, there's nothing silent about what happened then.
Oh, no.
So she just keeps screaming. And it's like, this is a bad day for Ramona.
Yep. This is a very bad day for Ramona.
This is a rough day for Ramona.
And apparently the word spreads as we figure out later on.
Also, Jimmy is very excited for this scene. You can see him in the background, and he is very happy.
Oh, yeah,
to
he's
watch
very
this.
into it.
Jimmy's doing great.
Every once in a while, you can't figure out Jimmy Gibbler, but that adds to his mystique.
Mm-hmm. Jimmy Gibbler, international man of mystery.
Yep. Speaking of mystery, we go back to the escape room. Gia is vaping.
Mm-hmm.
She's just like, she's so cool is the thing.
Vape Nation.
I know.
She's
Vaping
so
is
cool.
the best. I definitely fiend off of my friend's jewels, and then
We're hip young teens.
Hey guys, we're cool. Walks in, does a kickflip
What do you
on my
do, fellow
skateboard.
kids? Vaping sure is cool, but you know what's also cool? Voting.
So this summer, please vote for me in the primaries of the election.
So it's remember. I messed that up, but I'm gonna commit with. So it's remember. Vote for Zach Horowitz.
vote for Zach Horowitz.
Mark, this is why I made you my vice president.
It's remember. Yes.
And remember to vote for the reduction of vaping restrictions to 15-year-olds, because I am corrupt. Yes.
Yep.
Anyway, vote for Zach Horowitz.
Gia and Matt solve the final clue. They open the door. They did it. You guys, Lord Nigel, Penny Whistle comes back out and takes a photo of them. Gia and Matt are ecstatic and start making out. DJ and Steve are not so happy, but they've escaped the room.
Which means they can get out of this terrible double date.
The next scene has, depending on your opinion, either the best opening to any scene on this show that has ever been, or the worst opening to any scene on this show that has ever been. J Money walks out, sees Ramona, and says, "Man, you'll never believe what your mom did with your placenta."
So good.
Ramona very slowly stops eating the cracker she was eating and just puts it down. She's so good. I love these two characters so much. They work so well together.
Who starts a conversation like that? Who just walks into a room and is like, "Hey, what'd your mom do with do you know what your mom did with your placenta?"
Oh no,
You know who starts a conversation like that? J Money.
Hell
J
yeah,
Money.
J Money. What do you think Kimmy did with the placenta? I know they were implying that she ate it, but there's got to be a better explanation.
I
no,
think
they
it's just
said
she
that-
froze it and kept it.
Yeah.
Ramona, after very slowly putting down her food, she says, "It's behind the ice cube tray. I won't make that mistake again."
Oh
Yeah.
God.
Yeah.
Anyway, Max runs in saying, "They want to interview you about the rally." Ramona is very excited until Max says, "Not you, Aaron Brockovich." Max is also very good in this episode.
Max is great. Yeah, I feel like just throughout the series, like I know when we started watching it the first time at like the very beginning, we all hated this child, but now, like him, J Money, and Ramona are the best like group of three people that they bounce off each other so well.
They're so good.
They're very good.
I really love them. They all work together so well. It's just great. I like these characters a lot. I'm genuinely excited when they're on screen. I genuinely enjoy watching them. But he hands J Money the phone. Ramona starts feeding him answers because J Money does not know anything. But J Money eventually stops and says, "No, you don't want to talk to me. You want to talk to the person who really organized this, Ramona Gibbler. She's the voice of a generation, and you should listen to her." And then there's a really great button to the scene because Ramona picks up the phone and she says, "Yes, that Ramona Gibbler, the rental car miracle baby."
Yeah.
I like that she's a minor celebrity. And it's a great payoff to the horrific scene that happened earlier.
Yeah.
Yep.
Anyway, back to the Lamaze class. Kimmy and Steph start fighting over the baby doll that they're working with, and they rip its head off accidentally. Whoops. I guess neither one is the true mother, or else they would have only accepted the whole baby and not half a baby. Guys, King Solomon was right.
Yep. And the entire time we're all screaming, "Hey, Kimmy! Hey, Kimmy! This isn't your baby."
It's not your baby, Kimmy.
Please stop being clingy. I feel like that should be a moral in an episode of a sitcom.
Yes. Kimmy reveals that she's scared that she won't be as close with Steph after the baby is born, as if she has not watched the rest of the show. Steph assures her, "No, you're not just my sister's friend now. You're my friend now. You're my weird friend."
Yeah.
And I do also want to point out, like, they work together as well.
Yeah.
Like, they're gonna see each other. They work to, like, they do everything together. It's not, Kimmy, calm down. Calm
This
down.
baby
Kimmy
isn't
Gibbler.
exactly ride or die.
But the baby kicks, so they have a nice moment.
Mm-hmm.
Then next scene, Steph and DJ are cleaning up after the class. Steve shows up. I really like that Steph says, "Wow, it's real Dr. Steve." And then she leaves.
Yep.
Anyway, there's also, but Steve and DJ sort of apologize to each other. There's a line I like a lot where DJ says, "Well, I'm sorry I said you weren't a real doctor. I could have used a podiatrist to get my foot out of my mouth." And Steve says, "That's more of an ear, nose, and throat thing." I liked that a lot.
That was good.
Yeah.
I like that.
But, they say DJ reveals she was nervous, or she felt bad because Matt just started dating Gia and they already worked so well together, solving the puzzles in the escape room.
Can't you just be happy for them?
Yeah. DJ, I guess, can't just be happy for them.
Yeah.
Steve also points out, like, hey, they're good at puzzles. That doesn't mean anything about real life.
Yeah.
And DJ's like, I guess you're right. We're pretty good. We're good.
She needs the validation of being better than them. She
Yeah.
can't just be happy that her friend and ex-boyfriend, who she cares about dearly, has found love with someone who happens to be very close with her family. Not her, but with her family.
Nope.
Yeah, not her shining moment.
Not her shining moment, but they have a nice moment together. Steve says, like, hey, You know, we've been together so long, I know like everything about you. You really like meatloaf. Both the food and the artist.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then the episode ends.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it.
I guess means it's time for to escape the final challenge of this escape room, which is Sad Boy of the Week.
Yes, this is how we escape the recording of this podcast. Yes, the Sad Boy of the Week, crowning a Sad Boy of the Week is the final
The final
step.
riddle.
So who are our nominees? I believe, I'm trying to think of like who could be in Sad Boy contention. I kind of want to say Steve.
I kind of want to say Steve as well.
Steve works.
J
Money.
J Money.
Yeah, J Money. Do we want to do like Steph or Kimmy?
My thing about that is I think Kimmy has a better case, but I didn't find her like funny enough.
Yeah.
Yeah. This one didn't really knock it out of the park in terms of sad boys.
No.
It's a
no.
perfectly fine episode, but just not a lot of sad boy.
So do you think it's a race between Steve and J Money?
I think so.
Yeah,
Okay.
let's go with that.
Okay. So J Money doesn't know what the rally is about, but is going to go anyway, just so he can show off his uniform. He's aghast when it's revealed that Max and Tommy dirtied up his uniform, until his little brother reveals, no, we did that to make it look like you've actually played. So one, he's not like actually played. And two, Max is smarter and understands things more than J Money. We have established this before, but it's here again. J Money butts in and takes credit for planning the rally so he can be on the news. There's just something so silly to me about that.
I assumed that he just got approached.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he was just like, okay.
But they were referring to him as like the one who planned it, the
Yeah.
voice of a generation. So I assume it was like, so I mean, part of what I find funny is that they were there and they were just like, I don't know, I guess this kid did it. He's white and on the football team.
That is literally the assumption.
Yep.
And J Money just went, yes, I am. He had to go home to watch episodes of a sitcom that had been off the air for 12 years. To be fair, I watch a lot of episodes of sitcoms that have been off the air for longer.
Yes, we're not exactly throwing stones at a
Yeah.
brick house when we have a brick house.
I do live in a
Yeah.
glass house.
Yeah.
But still, I think it's very fun that he had to leave to watch Yes Dear.
Yeah.
He doesn't seem to understand how what he did was completely terrible. He has to hear the story of what Kimmy Gibbler did with her placenta.
Oof.
Yes.
Ooh, yeah. Oof. He doesn't know any of the answers when he gets a call asking for an interview. So he has to full like Cyrano de Bergerac it with Ramona.
Yes.
Except instead of love poems, it's talking about
Answering questions on the phone.
teachers' salaries, yeah. But then he finally does the right thing, tells them it was Ramona, and gives the phone to her so she can complete the interview. Now our good friend Stevie Hale, Dr. Stevie V.V. Hale, he has very recently sent foot-shaped chocolates to Matt, as we find out he does every year. The same he does for his girlfriend, he does for his quote-unquote platonic male friend.
It's beautiful. It's a
It's
beautiful,
beautiful.
relationship.
And I want to point out, the implication is he didn't, DJ also says, like, I half believe the reason he moved back to San Francisco was to be closer to you, Matt, and not me. And also, he didn't, like, they don't say he gave DJ chocolates recently, so he's given more chocolates to Matt than he has to DJ.
You're right.
He's definitely just as much, if not more, in love with Matt than he is with DJ.
Oh boy. It's beautiful.
Oh my god.
Speaking of, the second DJ says we should split up, he goes, oh, well, I'll get Matt. My good pal Matt.
My good friend Matt.
Mr. Matt. Dr. Matt Harmon, the harm monster.
The harm monster.
Harmon, Harmoth, am I right?
Yes.
Very important. He believes a pebble was a major contributor in killing a man when that man was also hit by a car. He is just that into feet.
Maybe it's just he got athlete's foot on the wrestling team. It stuck with him his entire life.
That is true. He immediately comes at Matt and Gia with, they could be ice dancers. And is super all in on Gia, even though his girlfriend hates Gia. He gets into an argument about being a real doctor. Even though he is a real doctor, he has to defend himself. Nobody thinks he's a real doctor, apparently. Because there was an earlier episode where he said, my mom doesn't think I'm a real doctor. It's great. It's great. I'm trying to remember, was there anything else sort of towards the end, or is that the main thing? He's fully aware that his girlfriend had a crush on Meatloaf.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
Sometimes you just want some meatloaf, you know?
Do you mean the food or the artist?
Both. Sometimes you want to eat meatloaf while listening to Meatloaf.
Or sometimes you want to eat meatloaf, am I right?
Ayo.
Anyway, who do you vote for?
I think I'm gonna have to go Steve on this one.
I was also thinking Steve.
I was also thinking Steve.
All right. Well, that's another win for Steve.
I love how we have very little to say about this one. And the sad boy race is just like, yep, Steve wins.
Yep.
I feel like this episode is one where there wasn't really a lot to talk about.
Yeah.
But
No. And not in a super like interesting way where there have been some episodes where we're like, not much happens, but also everything happens. This was just like, it was an okay episode, but not one of our favorites.
Yeah.
But guys, we got through it. We got through it together, and we had fun.
I do want to say, before we end off the episode, Steve is now currently tied with Fernando overall on Sad Boy leaderboards. And before we end off the episode, hello, I'm political candidate Zach Horowitz. Vote for me, mediocre white man 2024.
We will carve a better mediocre future so you can be angry about it tomorrow.
I'm Zach Horowitz, and I approve this message.
Anyway, if we don't have any more political statements to share,
no, we're good.
I just want to say that's it for this episode of the Fullest House podcast. Please follow us on social media. We are at Fullest House Pod on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. I hope everybody listening has a wonderful day. I'm Mark Greene.
I'm Harrison Bloom.
And I'm Zach Horowitz.
And until next time, may your houses be fuller, and may your babies be swaddled like a Chipotle burrito. Vote Zach Horowitz 2024.
2024 Horowitz.